When I was 18, I spent most of my time mastering the ancient art of doing bugger all. Now, somewhere in New Hampshire, an 18-year-old looked at his Steam game sales numbers, only to see he'd become a weekend millionaire, and lost it faster than you can say, "Dad, can you lend me 20 quid? Welcome to my brand new series, 6-Minute Stories. Short tales exactly 6 minutes long that will interest geeks like you. Now back to our hero, Michael Majors, the teen with the name of a severely concussed linebacker. It's January, and he's set up a games company releasing his first game to the Steam store. Imaginatively named this game cost $10. A top-down, not that kind of top-down, get your mind out of the gutter, Grandpa. Top-down RPG, not rocket-propelled grenades, get your mind out of the war, Grandpa. I'm getting sidetracked. The point is, this quote-unquote original game was overlooked. Nobody was interested. I think it's only got one user review, so nothing special. But 2 days later, and he's at it again. Majors released a sequel. This time he went for the imaginatively named, "This game costs $200." And his Steam page goes as follows.
This psychological, comedic experience is worth your $200. Every single cent. This game is unlike anything you've ever seen or ever will see.
He did say to his local newspapers that he built it as a joke, and he didn't expect anyone to actually buy it, but they did, obviously. Otherwise there'd be no point in me telling you about it. Imagine this headline. Bong! Boy makes expensive video game, nobody buys it. Not much of a story. So here's the weird part. After months of nothing, Major looks at his Steam sales. 6,717 copies have been sold in the past month or so. Now if I'd read that, probably made a little mess in my tighty-whities. Michael said that he almost died reading the numbers, which feels a little less dramatic than shitting myself. He also mentioned that he would have quit his job if the money had actually landed in his account, but surprise, surprise, it didn't. And this might have something to do with Steam's pretty generous refund policy, introduced in June 2015. Before that, refunds were handed out on a case-by-case basis at Valve's discretion, mostly reserved for games that were buggier than your average Travelodge mattress. But now you can refund almost anything you buy on Steam. If you keep the refund within 14 days of purchase, and as long as you played under 2 hours, you're golden. You don't have to justify it, didn't like it, changed your mind, bought the wrong game, or spent $200 on a single joke game, doesn't matter. And it's also worth noting, it's not just games. DLC is refundable too, provided the base game is tied to as under 2 hours of play. And that's exactly what happened to Major's game. Nearly everyone who purchased it asked Valve for a refund, with an average playtime of about 10 minutes. So to look at the numbers quickly, Saturday morning, 6,717 copies at $200 made Michael roughly $1.3 million, minus the $100 it costs to release a game on Steam, and minus the 30% or $390,000 Valve takes as a percentage of sales. This should have left the plucky young game developer with just under $1 million in profit. But by Sunday evening, everyone except 9 people had refunded the game, leaving Michael with a couple of grand and just left feeling like, what the goose testicles has just happened here? Now the next bit was kind of weird. Of the 6,717 sales, 6,700 of them came from China.
Let's say China.
Yeah. Why China? Nobody really knows. Michael did have his theories though. Theory number 1, something to do with Steam points in a reward system. Buy an expensive game, refund said expensive game, and somehow you still walk away better off. It's a sort of loyalty points loophole that nobody's fully cracked. Theory 2, which Masters came up with mostly panicking, money laundering. Buy a $200 game, refund it. Now you've got a nice legitimate looking transaction.
I'm totally legitimate.
On a legitimate platform. Congratulations. Your dodgy cash just went to university and got a degree. His actual quote was, "I could run a hit list right now." Reassuring stuff from a teenager who just wanted to make a joke game about a top-down RPG. Not that kind of top, for fuck's sake, Grandpa, what have I told you? Now, you might just think this is one funny one-off, a weird little internet story. It's not. It's something that's starting to become quite common on Steam. Around the same time as the game that cost $200, another indie dev went viral for the exact opposite complaint. Mateo Kovic, a 23-year-old German solo developer, and his game Paddle Paddle Paddle, a co-op rafting / paddling game, think a poor man's Split Fiction. So his game had sold around 270,000 copies, and skilled players and speedrunners did manage to beat the game under the 2-hour refund window. And even though they completed the whole thing, he still ended up processing about 55,000 refunds, against his total sales of 270,000. Kovic, he did manage to laugh about it though, posting screenshots of reviews literally saying, "Great game, finished it under 2 hours and refunded," but at the same time calling on Valve to fix the loophole. Because his real gripe was players who bragged about enjoying the game fully and refunding anyway. The internet is full of arseholes after all. But Steam's refund policy was built to protect players. Turns out, it's only very good at protecting people who fancy a free 40-hour RPG, or apparently laundering money through a joke about a top-down shooter. Not that kind. That's the last time I make that joke, I promise. Now, nobody fully understands why this is happening. Not Steam, not Major, not me. And I've looked into this for 6 minutes so you don't have to. As for Michael Major, $2,000 for a game he's built as a lol. A genuinely viral news story maybe? And probably the best what I did as a teenager anecdote anyone will ever own. It's better than mine anyway. Mine just involves doing fuck all, remember? So somewhere out there, an 18-year-old was a millionaire for a weekend. Now excuse me while I nip off to make my own $400 game. I am a genius. Also, if you like this, here's something else I've made. YouTube is guaranteed you'll love it or your money back. Subscribe.